Hi, everyone. This is Phil Travis again. Wanted to give you some basic guidelines for the group projects and how to succeed at these and how to put these together um, successfully in this class. Um, and this is for all my world religion and American government students. Um, First of all, the project is to construct collectively as a group to construct a PowerPoint presentation. 10 to 15 slides in the presentation. And the presentation is meant to describe a particular topic um, to an audience that knows nothing of the topic, whether it's a world religion topic, like, for example, Islam, or an American government topic, um, like gun control law, which is certainly something you could do. Um, these projects need to have a point. They need to be short and sweet, 10 to 15 slides, and they need to be something that you think an audience who did not know the subject could um, look at this PowerPoint and have a greater understanding of the subject matter. One other key note with relation to putting together these projects that you have to remember is, and this goes for all American government topics and world religion topics, these presentations should be objective. Um, you should not be necessarily trying to convince the listener or the audience of your own particular opinion. Rather, you need to present an issue and present it academically so that people can better understand the issue and make their own judgments on the basis of that. So with that, let's move to talk about the keys to success. The keys to success in constructing this short PowerPoint presentation is really to have a direction and to be organized, communicate regularly. So you want to select a leader of the group or an organizer of the group. The leader or organizer of the group is ultimately responsible for turning in the final project and for making sure that everybody knows what to do in the project. People are going to have to get images. They're going to have to research topic areas and come up with information. It's the leader who really organizes this. And hopefully in every group somebody will volunteer for the position. But the group needs to select a leader as soon as possible. It's really important. The next thing, and this is also something that the leader can help organize, is regular communication. I say schedule it, because regardless of whatever mode of communication that you want to use for this online class, the important thing is to get people on the same page in terms of um, when you guys want to communicate. Okay, so if you use the class or group discussion forum and you want to make sure that people are prompt and on their game, then the leader should point out and say, look, we should expect to be communicating on these in the discussion forum on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So even if you couldn't log in on Tuesday, you could log in on Wednesday and Friday. You know when the discussions are going on. You need to be attentive in this kind of a class in general. But when you're trying to organize something in an online environment, in an environment in which you don't actually see people per se, you don't actually meet with people physically, it's very important to be communicating. You can use group-wide emails, which I highly recommend those. You can send a chain email to every member of your group. You can use Skype. You can use Google Chat. These are all options for different ways that you can communicate successfully. But the key is to do it regularly. Communicate. If you are not communicating with group members for extended periods of time, and I mean like 5 days, if you haven't communicated with your group members in 5 days, especially in the early going of this, there is something wrong with that. So you have to focus and make sure you communicate. Now, with this said, there is one thing that you will always face, and this is the big what if. Every semester we get this. A member of my group is not participating. I've attempted to contact them, but unsuccessfully. My advice to you in this situation is you attempt to contact these individuals, but ultimately, if they are not responsive, if they are not participating in the group, that's only going to affect their grade. It's not going to affect yours. Okay, so you need to move on. This is not some overbearingly massive project that like could only be completed with 4 people. It's certainly something that a group of 3, for example, should have no problem putting together a really solid PowerPoint. It might take a little bit of extra effort, but if a member is not participating, there's nothing you can do about that. Every semester, sadly, we do have students that don't make it in a class, and so you need to move on and not wait for them and do the best that you can with the members that you have. When you turn in your final project, I expect there to be a title page, and on the title page, I want you to include the name of all members of the group, but I also want you to include the names of members that did not participate. All right, last slide, guys. So the final product, what am I looking for out of the final product? A good PowerPoint presentation will have the following. First of all, it'll have clear images. Make sure you look through this really well. Don't put an image up in your PowerPoint that is fuzzy. It's going to look even worse when it's on a big screen. And that's kind of what you need to think about. Pretend you're putting this PowerPoint together for a board of executives, okay? You want it to look nice, okay? So clear images and clear maps. Maps are something, geographical maps. These are things that are really great aids. Anytime you're talking about the historical roots of something, of a religion, where did Christianity start? Or the historical roots of the United States' war on drugs or something like this. Where was this war on drugs? These are things that you always want to provide maps. So make sure you have some maps as well as images, artwork, and these kind of things. It's good to have images on just about every slide. Now, it's not necessarily going to be the case, but oftentimes, so long as it doesn't look cluttered, the more images, the better. With text, it's the opposite. You want as little text as possible. Now, you have to make an argument. The audience has to be able to look at it and know what you're talking about. But you still need to be brief. You should never have a slide that has, a whole paragraph of words. Instead, you should have the key ideas in bullet points so that somebody can look through and have a pretty good understanding for themselves without having to read a small book in doing so. Remember, we're presenting to an audience of people who we assume don't really know this topic. So you want to be convincing, you want to make an argument, you want them to know what you're talking about as you explain your particular topic, but you also need to be brief. And last but not least, and maybe the most important thing, is that make sure your presentation has a direction. What I mean by that is you don't want your presentation to look like a series of summaries, general summaries about a particular topic area. Instead, you want your presentation to tell us something, ultimately tell us about whatever the topic is today in the modern era, okay? You want to give it, if you're doing religion, you want to give an image of Hinduism in the modern world. If you're doing government, maybe you want to do an image of illegal immigration in the modern world. So in order to do that, you need to have your presentation needs to have a direction. You want to start with a brief definition of your topic. What is the religion Islam, for example? Tell the people what it is, and then describe the historical roots. Then after you've told them what it is, you describe the historical roots, then you can start talking a little bit more about the way the issue that you've chosen looks today, and the issues that it may bring to light. But those are all going to be case by case basis. But you want to make sure the presentation has a direction, a clear direction, a start and a finish. So think about that when you're organizing it. The chronological organization that I chose is by no means necessary. You don't have to start with historical roots and go through. You can choose other ways to organize it. You can choose thematic ways to organize it. which is perfectly fine. Just make sure that your presentation has a direction. All right, well, that's about 10 minutes, and that about sums everything up. So hopefully, if you have any questions, please ask, but hopefully this answers some of the questions that you may have had. So good luck.